morning, viewers across the globe. This is Breakfast News on AYOGEN TV. Welcome to AYOGEN Breakfast News this morning. I am Charles Olowe Oluwafemi. Here are the news headlines for this morning from our newspaper across the newspaper. NSCDC boss order restatement of pillars security aids. On our political news this morning, Lai Mohammed Aregbesola Yari Keyamo lost out APC inaugurated state chairman. On our business story, 23.2 billion naira loan, CBN releases list of beneficiaries. Sport headline, Benzema to miss Real Madrid, Copa derail, clash with Atletico Bilbao. On our health news, UNEP, WHO to launch campaign against microplastic in cigarettes. And foreign news this morning, Guinea-Bissau President Embalo speaks, says coup fell, perpetrators arrested. And finally, on entertainment news headline, comedian Joe's Tufonin gives news card to music producer LXE. Here are the news in detail. NSCDC boss order restatement of pillars security aids. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has restated the security aids of a member of House of Representatives, Shina Pella. The news had reported that NSCDC withdraw the personnel attached to the lawmaker representing Isheyin Itesiwaju Kajola Iwajowa Federal Constituency in Oyo State on Wednesday. The withdrawal of the personnel followed the introduction of a bill passed by Pella proposing to scrap the corps and merge it with the Nigerian Police Force. The lawmaker proposed the bill to be housed for the National Security and Civil Defense Corps, Rafael and Transition Bill 2022, which passes the first reading on Tuesday. But NSCDC Commandant General Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Howdy refers the withdrawal of the security aids in a statement issued on Wednesday evening. The statement was tied to CG Front Act withdrawal of official assigned to member of House of Representative order restatement, signed by the NSCDC spokesman Odumosun Olushola. The statement read, the leadership of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has dismissed an unauthorized and without recourse to the Corps constituted authority. A letter signed and sent to the member of House of Representative Honorable Shina Pella, informing him of the withdrawal of official of the NSCDC assigned to him. Not only did the officer in question lack the power to do such, he was also found to have acted on his whim without clearance. The Commandant General Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Howdy has therefore directed a restatement of the withdrawal of officers with a complement of necessary courtesies to the honorable member. In an earlier letter dated February 2, 2022 by the head of administration Oyo State Command Sotito Igbalawo, the corps claimed that the withdrawal of the men was necessitated by the urgent national needs. The letter, with reference number NSCDC OY/173/Volume 3/196, titled Withdrawal of Personnel, read, following the directive of the Commandant General on the security of the Commandant General in the necessity of deployment to the command personnel for an urgent national security assignment. On behalf of the state commander, I hereby withdraw all personnel attached to you. This is to meet up with the urgent national need. All inconveniences with this might cause is highly regretted. Pella has sought to repeal the National Security and Civil Defense Corps Amendment Act 2007, established a transition management committee to superintend over the NSCDC development, regulation, and implementation procedure for the transfer of assets and personnel of the corps to Nigeria Police Force and other related matter. In the bill, Pella has noted that fragmentation of security resources across multiple competing agencies is counterproductive. The lawmaker also noted that the mandate of the NSCDC has now become a duplication of Nigeria Police Force, added that this has led to avoidable conflict security aids. On our political news this morning, Lai Mohammed Aregbesola Yari Keyamo lost out APC inaugurate state chairman. Faction of the All Progressive Congress in several states that are loyal to some minister and senator are said to lose out as the APC has perfected plan to inaugurate state chairman loyal to the governors of the party's national secretariat in Abuja on Tuesday. Some of the losers include the Minister of Interior Ralph Aregbesola, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment Festus Keyamo, and the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed. Others who lost out include the former Governor Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun State, Senator Kabiru Marafa, and a former Governor of Zamfara State, Abdul Aziz Yari. Several state chapters had been divided into factions due to the controversial Congress conducted late last year. However, the national leadership of the party is now set to inaugurate chairmen who are loyal to the governor except in Kano State. And newsmen learned that the chairmen from at least 30 states had already arrived in Abuja ahead of the inauguration. One of our correspondents who visited the party headquarters on Blantyre Street, who said second Abuja, reported heavy police presence around the secretariat. The arrangement, it was learned, was put in place to prevent any breakdown of laws and order, especially in aggrieved element stage protest. Some of the state witnessing crisis include Osun, Ogun, Kwara, Kebbi, Kano, Delta, Akwa Ibom, River, Bauchi, and Zamfara. In some of these states, faction has gone to court seeking to be recognized as the authentic one. However, Wednesday began as a dramatic note as Aregbesola, who had been engaged in a feud with his successor Gboyega Oyetola, lost out a federal high court in Osogbo. The Osun State capital refused to recognize Aregbesola's faction as the authentic one. Justice Emmanuel Ayola dismisses an application brought before it by Aregbesola's loyalists, citing a lack of jurisdiction. The judge ruled that the plaintiff's application was not covered by the law and could not be adjudicated by any competent court of law. Ayola said the suit brought before the court was strictly party affair and the court lacked jurisdiction on the matter. When contacted, the chairman of Aregbesola's faction in Osun State APC, Alhaji Razak Salinsile, said it was not clear yet who would be inaugurated by the national leadership as Osun State APC chairman. Speaking with newsmen on Wednesday, Salinsile simply said, "As it is not clear to you, it is not clear to us who will be inaugurated, but let's keep our fingers crossed." But when contacted, the special advisor to the Osun State governor on political affairs, Sunday accurately said that there was no contention about the post of chairman of APC in the state, adding that the Prince Agboyega Famodun would be inaugurated by the national leadership of APC. No contention about who is the chairman of APC in the state. Prince Agboyega Famodun will be inaugurated by the national leadership of the party, says accurately. Business news. 23.2 billion loan. CBN releases list of beneficiaries. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Wednesday releases a list containing details of 28 firms that benefited from the 23.2 billion loan disbursed in the first cycle of the 100 for 100 policy for production and productivity. The list was released on the Apex Bank's official website. This is coming after the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele launched the PPP program in Abuja on Monday. Based on the detail of the companies, a total of 14 in the manufacturing sector, 12 companies in the agri sector, and 2 in the healthcare sector scaled through the screening processes. The documents also show that all companies from 13 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, benefited from the first batch of disbursement. At the launch, the CBN governor had expressed hope that the project, when fully operational, will create over 20,000 jobs and generate about $125.8 million in foreign exchange earning. When fully operational, these projects are expected to create over 20,000 direct and indirect jobs across states, multiple sectors of the economy, as well as generated close to $125.8 million foreign in exchange earning. It is important to note that 5 of these selected projects are greenfield projects seeking to exploit the huge opportunity in key sectors of our economy, Emefiele said. Our sports story this morning: Benzema to miss Real Madrid's Copa del Rey clash with Atletico Bilbao. Karim Benzema has been left out of Real Madrid's squad for the Copa del Rey quarter-final against Atletico Bilbao on Thursday due to hamstring injury. The France international fitness has been a source of concern since he opted off in the second half of Real Madrid 2-2 draw with Elche in La Liga on January 23, 2022. During his pre-match news conference, Carlo Ancelotti was hopeful the striker will be fit for the trip to San Mamés. He had been in sensational form this season with 24 goals in 28 games in all competitions, but Ancelotti insisted no risk would be taken. Benzema's name was not in the 22-man squad for the match against Atletico Bilbao, which was released later on Wednesday. This prompted concern about his fitness for the UEFA Champions League last 16 meeting with Paris Saint-Germain PSG in less than 2 weeks. Mario Diaz and Finland Mendy also missed out through injury, while Marcelo is ineligible due to suspension. However, Marcos Asensio could make his return from a hamstring injury sustained in Super Cup de España success against FC Barcelona. Our 8th news this morning, UNEP, WHO to launch campaign against microplastic in cigarettes. UN Environment Programs and World Health Organization on Wednesday announced a partnership aimed at raising awareness on the environmental and health impact of microplastic in cigarette butts, the most discarded waste item worldwide. UNEP and the Secretariat of the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control will launch a social media campaign to highlight the issue. The partnership is facilitated through UNEP's Clean Seas campaign, a global coalition comprised of 63 countries devoted to ending marine plastic pollution. In combined, the two agencies respectively experience on the health and policy dimension of tobacco products and research and advocacy on plastic pollution. Globally, more than 6 trillion cigarettes are produced annually, each containing filter or butter that are mainly composed of microplastic known as cellulose acetate fiber. However, cigarette butts that are not properly disposed of get broken down by factors such as sunlight and moisture, thus releases microplastic, heavy material, and many other chemicals which impact ecosystem health and services. Cigarette butts account for more than 766 million kilogram of toxic traces each year. They are also the most common plastic litters on beaches, making marine ecosystem more susceptible to microplastic leakage. When ingested, the hazardous chemical in microplastic cause long-term mortality in marine life, including birds, fish, mammals, plants, and reptiles. These microplastics also enter the food chain and are associated with serious human health impacts, which can include change to genetic brain development, respiration rates, and more. The social media campaign will aim to engage influential as well as UNEP's goodwill ambassador and young champions of the earth. It will also include a political advocacy angle by highlighting a recent European Union directive that requires all tobacco products with plastic filters to be labeled clearly. The goal is to encourage the public to advocate for similar changes globally. The Secretariat of the WHO FCTC as the technical experts of the impact of tobacco products on not just human health but also on environment, said Active Boots, UNEP's Chief of Public Advocacy. By joining UNEPs and the Secretariat of WHO FCTC is expert together under the Clean Seas activation on microplastic, we aim to highlight how our Earth is intrinsically linked to that of other planets. On our foreign news, Guinea-Bissau President Embalo speaks, says coup failed perpetrators arrested. President Umaru Embalo of Guinea-Bissau addressed the media after a coup scare in the West African country on Tuesday. New York Times has reported speaking to the media. President Embalo said many members of his own security forces had been killed in what he terms as failed attack against democracy. He said some of the perpetrators had been arrested. It wasn't just a coup, he said. It was an attempt to kill the president, the prime minister, and the entire cabinet. Armed attackers tried to enter the building, but were repelled. They were well prepared and organized and could be related to people involved in drug trafficking, he added. The president's reaction came after shoulder fire, heavy gunfire near a government compound where the president had been chairing a cabinet meeting. There have been at least 6 coup attempts in African countries since 2020. Rising concern democracy was under threat in the region. Regional bodies and the United Nations have issued statements condemning the attack by the military in Guinea-Bissau. ECOWAS is following with great concern the evolution of the situation in Guinea-Bissau, while military gunfire is taking place around the government palace, the regional body said in a Tuesday statement. Also, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Mohamed, in a statement said he is following the situation in Guinea-Bissau with great concern. He called on the military to return to their barrack without delay and to ensure the physical integrity of President Umar Sissoco Embalo and the member of his government, and to immediately release those among them who are in detention, Mr. Mahamat said. Antonio Guterres, UN chief, said the situation pointed to a worrisome trend. We are seeing a terrible multiplication of corpses, and our strong appeal is for soldiers to go back to the barrack and for the constitutional order to be fully in place. Guinea-Bissau has weathered at least 4 successful coups, the last since 2012, and about a dozen attempts won since it gained independence from Portugal 48 years ago. Finally, on entertainment news. Comedian Josito Foni gives new car to music producer LXE. Nigerian comedian John Alfred, popularly known as Josh Tufoni, has gifted a car to his music producer Larin Elueze, professionally known as LXE. The skit maker, who is also known for creating funny covers of popular songs, noted that LXE produced his musical covers. In a video shared on Josie Tufoni Instagram page, the comedian handed over the car key to surprise music producer. The comedian also revealed that he got to know LXE 4 years ago through lead singer Olanrewaju Fasasi, popularly known as Sansota. He wrote, "Just got a small gift for my guy. The best producer I know. He produced Afro Sound and still does my song well. Loyal guy, LXE. One of the best gifts I got from Sansota. This is just the beginning, bro. This one is more. Manage it." That was the news on AYOGEN TV. But before we go today, here are the major news headline once again. NSCDC orders restatement of Pella security aids. On our political news, Lai Mohammed Aregbesola Yari Kenyamo lost out APC inaugurates state chairman. Business news, 23.2 billion loan, CBN releases list of beneficiaries. Sports news, Benzema to miss Real Madrid's Copa del Rey clash with Atletico Bilbao. On our health story, UNEP, WHO to launch campaign against microplastic in cigarettes. And foreign news, Guinea-Bissau President Embalo speaks, says coup failed, perpetrators arrested. And finally, on entertainment news, comedian Josito Foni gives new car to music producer LXE. That was the news on AYOGEN TV. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, as well as our YouTube channel. Don't forget to press the alarm button so that you can get all notifications of our program. And I am Charles Olowe Oluwafemi. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.